What's up, guys? It's your boy Stevie G coming back at you with another episode of the Seamless Garage Podcast. And if this is your first time ever tuning in, this is a podcast all about automotive and all about just cars, man, in general. Just the car culture, the car lifestyle. And I give a lot of advice on mechanics and stuff like that. I've been in the field almost 15 years now. Really been turning wrenches ever since I was a kid, man, like 4 or 5 years old, but been a master tech since I was 26. I'm 30 now. I'm a shop foreman right now, so I've been immersed in the field my whole life. I've always been around cars. Cars are my life. That's all I care about, you know what I mean? Just kidding. But, my family's number one, obviously, but cars are secondary. I love it, you know what I mean? It's everything to me. Like I said, if you're just tuning in, Seamless is a podcast, YouTube channel. We've got Instagram, and then, of course, so, like, all of that covers our shop. You know, we have our own personal builds, and then we do some modifications for some other cars. Again, we give out technician tips, mechanic tips, whatever you decide to call yourself. And then we also do news and our thoughts on current events in the automotive world, and just technology that's up and coming, just all that good stuff. Just all encompassing automotive, mechanics, stuff like that. All right. So anyway, if that's something you're into, make sure you click that subscribe button if you're on YouTube. Make sure you click that follow button if you're on Spotify or any of the other podcast platforms. If you like the video, like the deadgum video, you know what I mean? Share some love. Show us some love. And if you know somebody else that's into cars or that they could benefit from this video, make sure you share it with them. Let's spread the word, man. I've got so much good info that I would love to spread. So anyway, with that being said, like I said, we do daily vlogs. Not daily, we do weekly on vlogs, on the videos we do out in the shop of working. I've got a DSM, which is, I got an Eagle Talon, and then DJ's got an OBS Chevy. So with that being said, this episode is going to be about current state of EVs or electric vehicles, and then what I think about it, and kind of what I think is kind of polarizing. So hopefully you stick around so you can see what I'm talking about. But without further ado, let's hop into this episode, guys. All right, what's up, guys? So again, we're going to talk about EVs, man. But before we get into EVs, please comment below. Tell me what you think. If you're on the podcast platforms, hit us up on the Seamless Garage Instagram. Tell me what you think, man. We've got these right here, and then I don't know if you've seen them. If you go through the Instagram, you'll see. We've got white on the black shirts and stuff like that. We're gonna do some more designs, bro. We're gonna do automotive related designs. Not everybody likes just a blocked out Seamless logo, and I get that, but we're gonna do some automotive designs. You guys comment below, what would y'all like to see? What do you want? What would you do? All of this stuff would be to support the channel so that we can continue to do cool stuff and cool videos and give out great information for you guys, and keep this thing going. But with that being said, let's get into it. So I'm just going to go ahead and give y'all the whole thing right out the bag. I'm going to go ahead and let y'all have the cat out the bag right away. I think EVs will be dead, gone, forgotten about in 15 years. In 10 years, I think they'll go ahead and be obsolete and be out of here. Y'all are probably thinking, man, this dude is crazy. Why is he saying this kind of stuff? People think I'm crazy, right? I do say some crazy stuff. I do, because I be thinking about stuff like this all the time. So I do say stuff that's like off the wall. Whoa, where'd this come from? But this is something that's been on my mind for a while. So hear me out on this before you just shut this off and like, all right, man, I can't listen to this guy anymore. He's crazy. Or maybe you agree with me. But look, the thing is, it's not feasible, right? and this isn't the, I'm not the first one to come up with this argument, and I'm not even trying to argue, but I'm not the first one to come up with this point. Um, this one has been talked about for a while. I wouldn't say it's a beaten horse or anything like that, but I'm just saying it hasn't been talked about. I mean, it's been talked about a little bit. So, rule number one, bro, like, the reason it's not feasible is because for one, the power grid, right? Like, that's everybody's favorite argument. So let's knock that one out the park real quick. We all seen what happened. So I'm from Texas, so it's actually a little bit different. You know, the whole world didn't see it, but like, we all seen what happened with Texas, man. Whenever snowstorms hit, right? Whatever. So that's gonna happen. But even without that, like, we all, like, during the summer, I don't know if it's like that in other parts of the country, but during the summer, man, we have rolling blackouts because everybody's using AC and stuff, so they're using up a lot of juice, a lot of power. And so what they'll do is they'll shut everybody off for a short moment of time, but for some reason it helps, well, with the energy and conserving energy, right? Imagine if everybody at their house was charging their car. You know what I mean? Like, you may argue, oh, well, that's not very much juice. Oh, it is. Have you seen what size plug plugs them in? Like, it's using a lot of juice. I mean, so much so that they've got their own station, their own separate breaker set up. I mean, everything, okay? And new houses are being built with them installed already. They don't even ask you. They just install them. So let's get into that, right? Like I said, that's not feasible. That is what it is. Whatever. People talk about that all the time. We're not going to go too deep into that. But let's hop over to why I think it's not feasible. Number two. So Elon Musk, okay, I know he's not the end all be all, right? But y'all know I had to bring this guy up because he's the owner of Tesla, kind of the pioneer in pushing EV. I'm not saying he's the pioneer of EV because obviously there was electric vehicles out before Tesla was even started. But what I'm saying is he kind of took it, he kind of took the bull by the horns and ran with it, right? Like, he kind of took the industry by storm and knew how to market, knew how to meet customers' needs, knew what needed to happen, and he's pioneering a lot of new things in the automotive industry, like the way it happens, like ordering to the delivery, deliver the vehicle to the customer, those type of things. He's kind of changing the way the dealership aspect works out, all of that. He's kind of revolutionizing the game is what I'm trying to say, and that's cool and all. But go find the podcast. I'm not going to pull it up on here. But he made a podcast. I think it was a podcast, or maybe it was just a video when he was talking to somebody. And he knows it's not feasible. He knows that not everybody can have an EV and that and it's not going to work out like that. He even admits that that's not why he did it. He didn't do it because he thinks that's the future and that's what the future is going to be like. He actually dismisses that and says that's not the case. He don't think that EVs are the future. What he does say is that it's convenient for some, right? Like, it is convenient for some. It's a cool, and I'm going to call it a novelty. If you own an EV, I'm sorry, it is what it is. It is a novelty. Look, there's things I love about it. Would I get my wife one? Probably so, but only for local commuting, right? But I'd get my wife one. Here's why. No gasoline for one. Number two, while everybody else's wives are pulling in to get their oil changed, their air filters changed, all that kind of stuff, my wife can just keep driving. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. So that's what is cool about it. You know what I mean? But like I said, it's not going to stick around. So even Elon Musk agrees that it's not a forever thing. It's not something that's going to completely take over the industry. And that's what I'm trying to get across, because everybody's tripping about it, trying to say it's going to take over the industry. But the reason we're seeing that is because it's hitting the market by storm, right? Like, even Nissan came out with the new Aria. But let me give you a couple of examples of like why it won't. So check this out. Hybrid technology has been out for a while, right? The Altima's had it since like 05. The Prius has been around since around that time, early 2000s. There has been hybrid vehicles galore. They don't sell like a regular vehicle. They don't. People don't trust them. People don't understand them. And of course, yeah, as we go down the road, people will understand things. Like, I'm not saying that that's completely what's holding it back. I'm just saying People aren't interested. Quite simply, people aren't interested and they don't trust it. And let me tell you something about being in the car industry and being in the dealership world my whole life. Nothing is worse to a customer than them not being able to trust their vehicle. Like, that is the number one. Like, all the other stuff, the color of it, the luxury part of it, all the cool little gadgets that are in, all that stuff is secondary to them being able to trust it day in and day out to get to their jobs, to get to where they need to go, when their children are in the car, not being stranded. All these things are their top priority, all that other stuff aside, okay? And when you have a consumer base that can't trust it, then, you just don't have a consumer base. That's what you don't have. So, I understand people are coming around. People are coming around to it, and let's be honest, technology is getting better with it. Like, it is getting more reliable. But let's hit it from a couple of angles. I don't know about other brands, but like I said, I'm a Nissan Master Tech. We've got a couple Leafs in the shop right now, but let's say Leafs in general are EV, right? That's what they are. To replace a battery, you're looking at $18K. Like, that's what you're looking at. Now, granted, battery warranty is really good on the Leafs, right? But rightfully so. Like I said, there's a lot of, like I'm trying to tell you, there's a lot of catch-alls that's like, why are they pushing this so hard? So the Leaf batteries are insane, right? Like, their warranty is really good. But like I said, if you were going to pay out of pocket on your own, it's $18K. And then it's 6 months to wait to get it. So if your battery pack goes bad, it's on back order, right? And a lot of that could do with, like, the COVID and everything else still rolling in, even though it's 2023. I don't know why we're dealing with that still, but it is what it is. Whatever, right? But you got to wait six months. You're paying $18K. Okay, cool. But like I said, they're backing it up with their warranty, right? Because they're trying to push this on. Why would you push that on? Why would a company ever back an $18K battery for that long? Like I said, there's an agenda behind it. Whatever, I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. I'm just saying there has to be an agenda behind it because of that. Tax write-offs for having an EV vehicle, right? Tax write-offs for having chargers and stuff like that installed in your garage. There is what did they say? I think it was Joe Biden or somebody else said by a certain year, was it 2035, I think, or maybe even 2030, they're trying to make it where manufacturers can't sell any kind of internal combustion engines, that it can only be electric vehicles. I think it's over in Cali. They do something for you. Oh, if you have an EV over in Cali, you can use the HOV lane and stuff, right? You can use the express lanes free of charge. So there's all these incentives to move over. And let me tell you right now, it has nothing to do with the ozone layer, and it has nothing to do with the it is the EPA pushing it, but it has nothing to do with the well-being of our planet, or our ecosystem, if you will. Okay, there's been a lot of studies recently that have proven that wrong. Okay, if you want to see one instance, just go Google a picture of any of these battery plants that manufacture these batteries for these vehicles. Look at any lithium ion battery plant. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing growing for miles near it, and we're digging up to get this. So tell me this is a renewable resource again? It's not. It's not. The batteries aren't. I mean, sure, charging them, maybe it's renewable because of wind turbines and stuff like that, but let's be honest, we're still using nuclear plants to really get that going, okay? Let's be honest. So there's just too much behind the scenes that's like, when is this going to give up? Like, when are y'all going to give up and call a spade, right? Because we all know it's not feasible. I mean, I know guys that are out here making money in Cali and some on the East Coast where EVs are really popular. They got their Cummins out there and they're making money because they'll pull up and either tow it to the, a car's done ran out of juice, no more battery left, no more battery life left. They done ran out of juice, and they'll come along with their Cummins, pick up. They're making money off this, man, just towing them to the dealer or towing them to a charging spot. You know what I mean? Because they're running out of juice. We've seen some Teslas. It's funny. There's memes out there, but We've seen some Teslas where they've got a little attachment on the back with a generator. So again, tell me how it's feasible. You know what I mean? Maybe battery technology will get better, but it's gonna get worse before it gets better, guys. So there's just so much trying to hold this together. Like I've never seen in my time, in my age, in my lifetime, I've never seen something so obvious that it's not going to work, but that they're just still pushing it. They're trying to convince you. They're just trying to convince you. Um, and whatever. Maybe in 15 years you can come back on this video, or you can come talk to me and laugh at me and go, ha ha ha. But I'll still be driving my petrol, my gasoline vehicles. You know what I'm saying? I'll still be a petrol head. I'll pull up, you know, and call me stinky and loud and stuff and inconvenient because I got my loud car I'm pulling up in. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. It's just not sticking around, so I don't see it. I think in 10 years, I think we realize what it is. I think we get tired of messing with it. I think we realize that it's a little novelty item and that it's very inconvenient, even though it was put out as convenient, right? But it ends up being inconvenient as soon as these batteries start going out left and right? Because batteries only have a certain lifespan. It is what it is. You can't maintain them forever. I mean, look at your cell phones. Look at anything like that, okay? Look at your car batteries, like your regular 12 volt for regular cars. Like, they just don't last very long, okay? So once those start going out and the warranties are out or whatever, or not even the warranties are out, but there's so many being replaced that they're just on back order and you can't replace them, people will start realizing how inconvenient they are. So that's my take on that part, man. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's just not going to work out. And people are pushing the technology, right? They're like, oh man, like I just saw this on Facebook where it was like a 70-pound motor, right? Like a little electric motor, 70 pounds, put out like 400 or 500 horsepower. And I laughed because they were like trying to do the power to weight ratio thing, right? Like, oh man, it's got so much power to its 70-pound ratio compared to an internal combustion engine. Cool. Weigh that battery. So that motor is 70 pounds, but how much is that battery? Weigh that battery, because there's several hundred pounds. So then at that point you're like, oh, okay, about the same as an engine assembly, like an internal, like a 4-cylinder or whatever, internal combustion engine. It's like, oh, okay. So the power weight ratio is really not that much different, right? Like, it's really not all that. Don't forget that now. Remember, I'm speaking about the USA. I'm speaking about America. I can't speak on other countries, how they're doing or any of that. All these things that I've brought up, though, are going to hit them as well, right? But this right here may just be only Americans. Remember that Americans don't always just drive to get to A to B. Yeah, like I said, it is the main thing for the commuter. Of course, we got to use it to get from A to B, get to our jobs, get to everywhere we need to get to school, all that kind of stuff. But keep in mind that Americans also enjoy driving vehicles. It's also an experience for us. It's getting less and less, but I'm just saying it's also an experience for us, right? Like, I don't know if you've ever driven an EV vehicle. If you have, you understand what I'm saying. There's no engine noise. Cool. That may be great for some people, actually. They're like, they don't want any noise. But guess what? With no engine noise, now you hear road noise. Now all you can hear is the road, right? You just lose a lot of the feel. You're not going through the gears anymore. Like, maybe there's even some out there that like simulate a manual shift mode. Why? It's an EV. Like, there's just no reason. So none of that. There's no exhaust fumes to, it's just this whole experience, right? The vibration of the engine, you can feel that thing revving up. It's just a different experience, and Americans drive for an experience. They really do. We're not, if we weren't and we didn't love our vehicles and stuff like that, all of them would look the same, right? That's another thing I think about Tesla, because we're going to use Tesla as an example because they're just the number one right now when it comes to EVs. Nobody's capping them right now. Nobody's topping them. Look at Teslas, bro. Like, for some people, it's eye-striking and they like it. But, bro, it's plain. It's plain Jane. I don't care what you do to it. I don't care what you wrap it in. Wrap it in chrome, bro. It don't matter. Um, they're plain Jane looking. Are they very sleek? Yes, because they want to be aerodynamic and all that. Are they real fast? Everybody's like, hey man, that plaid will outrun your car. Cool, cool. Um, but do you turn heads when you pull up? You know what I mean? Can they hear you before they see you? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being honest here. I don't see a whole lot of Teslas at car meets. So I'm starting to feel like Tesla drivers aren't car enthusiasts, right? So you've already cut out a customer base right there. There are some guys that, like I said, buy the plaid because of the performance, and they're going out here and they're gapping some of these internal gas guys, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, people like what they like. And so my last point, hopefully I didn't miss anything because there's a lot I wanted to say on this video. My last little point here before we get out of here. If EVs were so reliable, if EVs were the next thing, if EVs were going to replace, like, that's the crazy one that's got crazy audacity to me, is that they think it's going to replace the internal combustion engine that's been around, that's tried and true, that is proven to work. I can fill it up with gas right away and still keep going. I don't have to wait for a charge. And yes, there's an argument that there's a quick charge and stuff like that. But bro, I can run so much further on my gasoline than you can on that. Let's go even further in that just for a minute. Apocalypse happens. Crazy stuff happens. No longer any generators. I can make cars run on other things for a long time. Okay? And of course, we can put a little windmill up and stuff like that, but it just doesn't make sense, right? Like, batteries just aren't reliable. So we're gonna cut that one out, man. That's just gonna be what it is, and I'm gonna quit beating that dead horse there. You know what I mean? I'm gonna quit beating that dead horse. So my last little point is just, if they were so great, right? If the batteries were so good, it was gonna be the future. It's gonna replace internal combustion engines. How come companies like Cummins, and there are a couple of more of the higher end companies that like are truly engine makers, like truly engine builders and designers, how come they're still trying to come up with other internal combustion engines? Like, they're trying to get rid of fossil fuels, but I think they're trying to do like another hydrogen engine and things like that. Like I said, if it was so great and it was the future, how come we're pivoting to that again? Like, why wouldn't we just give up on all that other technology and put all our time and focus into that? I think we know the true answer, right? I think by this point I've gotten my point across, and I don't think there's very many people out there that disagree with me. And if you do, I would implore you to do your research and to truly understand vehicles and truly see what's going on before you make an assessment or before you hit me with the rebuttal. I don't mind. Please comment below. Let's have a discussion. It's not going to be an argument or nothing. It's going to be a discussion. Again, this is just an opinion. I'm not speaking facts here. Some of the things I'm hitting you with are like realities. Like, hello, this is a reality. But again, this is my opinion. The government could continue to just push it on through anyway. I mean, we've seen it with some other stuff, right, where they just push it through anyway, even though it is not feasible, and it just is what it is. And that's a whole other conspiracy right there about control and everything else. But we won't get into that. Comment below. Tell me what you think on this. But like I said, do your research before you hit me up. But let's talk about it and see what you think. But hopefully, not hopefully, but in 10 years, I'll be reposting this video and telling y'all I was right. I mean, that's just the reality. So, anyway, with that being said, it's been your boy Stevie G here at the Seamless Garage podcast and compound. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out. Later.